Hello there. Welcome to GK Pro's 50-day spoken English tutorial. So today is day 11th, as you can see, okay? And we are going to be talking about festivals using verbs and tenses. So before we begin, let me tell you something very important. This is not a grammar class. Today we are going to learn how to talk about a real moment in your life, like a festival. Great. Let's quickly take a look at a session overview. All right. Now, first we are going to start up with a warm up and an emotional connection. And also, we are going to be talking about verbs in action, that is pretty much in reference to the present tense. Okay. And we are also going to be talking about what happened, that is past, and a strategy where we are going to be talking about feelings and emotions together, but in reference to past plus present as a strategy. And in the very last, we are going to be looking at structured event description along with a mini speech and reflection. Okay, now everyone celebrates festivals, correct? Many people struggle to talk about them in English. When your friends or family members or even your colleagues come and ask you, what did you exactly do during the festivals? You feel, sometimes we feel a bit of, confusion when we want to really talk about the particular event in English. So they know what has happened, but actually they don't know how to explain it. They, in the sense, it might be people who don't know how to kind of explain a certain situation. So today we will learn a very simple way to describe a festival using verbs, tenses and feelings. In reference to this session, I would want to reinforce, or I would want to just tell you that past sessions we spoke about the present tense, the past tense, and I also completed a whole lesson on future tense. Please go ahead and look at those videos as well so that you get a deeper understanding of what we are kind of trying to do today. Okay? Now, before we start, let me introduce the simple memory tool known as FEST method. FEST method, okay? This is how you describe any event in your life. All right? So let's look at it quickly. F stands for facts. That is what has happened, okay? E stands for events. That is what did you actually do during the festival. S stands for sentiments, in the sense also known as emotions. That is, how did you feel during the festival? And T is very simple to remember. It is today. Okay. How do you feel now? Now, if you remember FEST, that is FEST, which actually connects to these the four parameters I just read out. That is, F stands for facts, E for events, S for sentiments, and T for today. That is how you feel. Okay, you can describe any festival really. It can be a trip, it can be a party, or even a life event when you look at this method. Okay, great. Now, let's kind of simply enter into the world of festivals. All right. Before that, I would just like to let you know that by the end of the session, you will be able to speak for 30 to 40 seconds continuously about a festival in your life. Okay, great. Let's start with the most important thing in English, and that is verbs. All right. Before we start that, I would just want to kind of again let you know that we are not studying grammatical rules or grammar rules. Today we are learning how to talk about a real event in your life, that is the festival. So, just for just to kind of veer away from the topic, which festival do you like the most? I would want you to kind of pause the video here. All right. Give it a small pause, kind of just pause the video here and answer these questions. Which festival do you like the most? Do you celebrate with family or friends? The reason behind my asking of these questions is so that you can kind of relate to the concept as in I kind of continue into this session and we dig deeper, I would just want you to answer these questions to yourself and analyze the answers by the end of the session. Okay, don't look at grammatical usage. Please do not go ahead and kind of, they get confused when I'm talking about tenses as well. Don't use grammar if you're weak in grammar, and any kind of english is encouraged, really, even if you're at a lowest level. Please go ahead and answer these questions. Okay, this is the start of our session. Now you will understand my reason, or you will understand the reason behind uh, this particular, these particular questions, or why exactly I'm asking you these questions. All right, now I want you to very carefully look at these images that I'm kind of showing you on the screen, showing to you on the screen. All right, so the first image is, so you can just look at the image. If you want, you can just pause the video here too. Okay. Wherever I say pause the video, kindly do so because it's for your own benefit. Great. Okay. Just look at the picture. Please do not read whatever is written under the picture. Just look at the picture. Okay. Just look at this picture as well. This is our second picture for today, or I like to call it as a visual trigger. Okay. Great. Look at the visual trigger, that is aka the image. All right. Let's look at the third image as well. Now, can you just look at the third image, that is this, okay? And answer what is happening in this picture. Just answer what is happening in this picture. Exactly. Do not use sentences. Don't go too violent over using complicated sentences, but just kind of answer this particular question, that is, what is happening in this picture? That's it. Okay. So, I would like to kind of also tell you that every festival has actions, correct? Actions are what people do. Don't you agree? Because during festivals we do not kind of sit in a place, we actually do a lot of things. Now verbs are certain words that involves lot of actions, correct? Like for example, during a festival, people, what do they do? They celebrate, they meet, uh, eat, yes, dance. Great. They pray. A very important part of festival is praying. Okay. Visit your relations, your loved ones or your neighbors. Can be anyone. Decorate. The most favorite part in any kind of festival is decoration, right? And then enjoy. Very important. Share. Also very important. And laugh. The most important, right? So now notice something. Right now, when we look at the festival picture, we use present tense. For example, when we are looking at this picture, we can actually describe what is happening. That is this question, what is happening in this picture, using something, using a tense that is present tense, right? Like people are celebrating. Okay, let's look at this. Now let's read this. Okay, now let's read this, or I'm going to read it out to you. The family is celebrating. Okay. I kind of did this session on present tense. A whole session on present tense was already done prior to this. Please go to that video, and also you can look at some strategies also that I have taught in order to make your life easier when you're looking at using tenses as your grammatical tool when you're speaking English. Okay. So let's get back to this example. The family is celebrating a festival together. Present tense. Yes, they are sitting near a Christmas tree. The parents and children are enjoying the moment. Okay. Now, obviously, this is present continuous, but still it is in the present form. Okay. So, families are meeting. We are not thinking about rules here. We are just saying what we actually are seeing in the picture. So this is also known as something something like when you talk about describing a picture, all right, describing what you see is a strategy as well. So verbs give life to your sentence. Verbs are what again? I kind of told you that verbs are actions that we do in our daily lives, right? So you really don't have to uh, really go complicated, or you don't really have to use complicated English when you have to describe an image. When you look at an image like this, or when you look at an image like this, you can actually describe it in simple words, like, just pause the video and you can read this particular section. When I say simple English, this is what I mean. Okay, great. Now let's quickly move on to the next part. Okay, before moving on to that part, let's look at certain model sentences. Okay, present simple or simple present also can be present continuous, as I told you, because there is also during my sessions I kind of reinforce saying that when there is a word continuous, then your verb automatically picks up that ing word. Okay, so when you are looking at using present tense, it can be simple present along with present continuous. So when you are actually describing a festival, all right. Now let's look at some model sentences. People celebrate the festival. Okay, this is simple present. They are dancing together. This is present continuous. Families meet and eat food. So obviously this is simple present. Okay, meet and eat. This is something that's happening in the present time. Now, again, this is a activity, or it can also be known as guided practice. If you have seen my previous sessions, you'll understand what I mean by guided practice. Okay, so look at any of the pictures above. Can be this, all right, it can be this picture. That's the reason I'm scrolling up again. Okay, it can be this picture. Kindly go ahead and pause the video here. All right, it can be this picture even. Now this picture already has the content just below it. So what I want you to do is kind of pause your video and try to make some simple sentences just looking at these pictures. Okay, now that would be a guided practice for you, but I would really appreciate if you go ahead and pause the video here and do the same. Okay, all right, great. So now till here, all right, till this activity I kind of spoke about the present tense, that is either simple present or it can be present continuous also. All right, now let's move on to past tense. Okay, so what happens in past tense? When you think about a festival is usually something that has already happened, right? That is when you're actually telling it to someone, the third party or the listener. So when we talk about it, we naturally move to the past tense, right? So, past tense means what? Past tense means the action is over. It's as simple as that. So, now the goal over here, or describing an image, or even describing an event, or describing a certain festival, or anything that has really happened in your life, is from seeing to remembering to narrating. Okay, so let's talk about the festival that has already happened. So here we are going to look at some past verbs. All right, past verbs in the sense ed forms. All right, that is celebrated, visited. Eat is going to change to ate, right? Past. Danced, enjoyed. Meet is going to change to met, right? Yes. Pray again to prayed, and then watch again to watched. All these are past verbs. We are going to kind of use past verbs when we are looking at the past tense, obviously. So, certain model answers here are the model sentences. You can kind of read it to yourself. Otherwise, I'm just going to read it out. That is, last Diwali, I celebrated with my family. We decorated our house. I ate sweets and snacks. So this is very, very clear that it belongs to, everything belongs to past tense, right? It belongs to past tense. Now, notice something important here. I'm not using big grammar words. All right. I'm only changing the verb. Celebrate changes to celebrated. Decorate changes to decorated. Eat changes to ate. Now, this is pretty much what I'm saying when like when you are going to look at using simple words rather than going really, really complicated when you're using English as your language. Okay, now this is how real English works in life. It's not all about complications always. I would just want you to kind of pause the video here again, okay, and relate with the concept. One second. Yes, relate with the concept just by reading these paragraphs. These are really tiny paragraphs. You can read it yourself. However, I'm just going to kind of read the second one for you. Now, this is in reference to this, okay? This image is to this part of the content, okay? So, the children celebrated a festival outside. The children celebrated a festival outside. They held as what? Past tense of, okay, past tense of hold, sparklers, and danced together, danced, ed form again, past, together. Fireworks lit the sky, okay, and children looked happy, looked, okay, looked also is the past tense of look. So basically this is an explanation of this diagram, all right, this picture. We are describing this particular festival in past tense that has already happened. Now let's talk about the most important part. Before that, I would just want to kind of again tell you to describe this picture in past tense in your own level of English. It's okay if you're a beginner, that doesn't matter. Please go ahead and pause the video and try to explain it in simple terms. Let's look at an activity. Okay. Now, during the festival, I fill in this sentence with a past tense sentence. Like I want you to use past tense. I enjoyed with my family can be something that can fill this section here. We dash together. What do you think you can do together? We dance together. Now that's also past. Okay, it's as simple as that. Just try and do this activity by pausing the video. Now, multiple sentences are also encouraged. Please do not go for accuracy. That is, do not look at or do not get scared when you're kind of forming or articulating your own sentences. Go ahead and um, use as much as natural English that you are equipped with. No issues. Now, let's talk about the most important thing I told just a bit earlier, and that is emotions and feelings. Now, when I kind of talk about emotions and feelings, I would want to also let you know that we are using a strategy again here. And what is the strategy? That is past plus present, right? These are two sentences. I'm sorry, tenses, but we are kind of uh, now amalgamating it. It is that we are making into a structure here. We are kind of getting into a formation wherein we are looking at using past and present tense together, so that helps us to describe our event even more clearly. That is the whole goal over here, because this, now, events with emotions, when you look at kind of, people talking to you, and if they have no emotions when they talk about a particular event, that feels really, plain. It doesn't feel really something that you want to listen to for quite a long time. Now, let's look at certain emotions and feelings in reference to using these when you are talking about festivals or any kind of event that has happened in your life that is kind of directly connected to your life. All right. So let's look at it. Events are not only actions, they also have feelings. All right. That is felt happy. Correct? Felt happy because feelings make your English more human. All right. Now, if you only talk about action, your English sounds pretty empty. Please do not only go for actions. Actions in the sense I told you, actions, aka in the sense they are also known as verbs. All right. Verbs also need to be helped sometimes. So you can add these emotions like felt happy, felt excited, felt tired after a long day, felt peaceful, okay, enjoyed a lot, loved everything that happened around me, was very happy. am truly grateful. Now, these kind of sentences help you to, enhance the way you speak or describe any kind of event that took place in your life. We talk about feelings in the past and sometimes in the present as well. Okay, so let's look at certain samples here, also known as model sentences. Okay, I felt very happy during the festival. I felt very happy. Felt, again, I told you, we are looking at using past plus your present tense, correct? Right? So, I felt very happy. I felt very happy is past, right? Right? During the festival is present. Now, I hope you can actually connect with this, or connect with me rather, because when I kind of try to share these strategies with you, I really hope that you pause and you practice wherever I tell you to pause the video, because that is what is more important in the long run. Please help yourself and also help us help you to enhance the way you speak in English. All right? Great. Now, let's look at the next sentence. I was excited. Was. Again, the same strategy, right? The same strategy. I was excited to meet everyone. To meet. Meet is a present tense. It's happening now, okay? I was excited to meet everyone. So the strategy is past plus present tense. Okay? That's it. It is sentence wise. When I'm talking about the strategy, it is sentence wise. Please keep that in mind, that it is sentence wise, that is past plus present. Now I feel grateful. Okay. Now what happens is this naturally introduces the past and you kind of automatically jump into the present. Now that is what is important when you're looking at structures. Again, I would want to revise this certain fest method that I spoke to you in the start, right? I spoke to you about a method known as fest. F is in reference with facts, E for events, S for sentiments, T for today. But when I say facts, that is what has happened, or what is like what actually happened. E events, it means what did you do? All right, what did you do? Now, S sentiments, how did you feel? And today is how do you feel now? Okay, please remember this structure. It's pretty much very important when I'm talking about particularly curated only for you here at GK Pro, because we are not looking at kind of giving you something that is not quality, or something that is only quantity, but quality is more important. These are just free YouTube classes, all right? But I really want you to relate with the concepts here when I'm talking about strategies, especially. Uh, as I told you at the start of our sessions as well, grammar is something that is important, but it is not truly the base of how you speak in English. Okay, so fest method is a kind of a method that you look at, sorry, when you are uh, exactly describing an event that has taken place in your life. Okay, great. Now, as I just told you what fest stands for, let's look at an example along with sorry, along with the usage of your past and the present tense as a strategy. Great. Let's quickly read this paragraph. Okay. So, last Diwali, I'm kind of describing this particular image. Last Diwali, the family celebrated together and decorated the house. So that is what happened. Okay. What did the family do? Now, celebrated and decorated obviously is related to past, correct? Okay, it's related to past. And next, they lit lamps and felt very happy. Look at the fest method. What did they do? Okay, what did you do or what did they do? So, events. All right, events. What did they do? They lit lamps and felt very happy. That is sentiments. That is how did you feel or how did they feel? Because when you're describing a picture, it becomes they, correct? When you're describing a picture, it becomes they pretty much. Now, when you're describing a event that has happened in your life, it becomes you. Okay, so They lit lamps and felt very happy. That is, how did you feel? That is your sentiments. Lastly, you can see here now they are standing together, holding the lamp and feeling joyful again. So today, how did they feel now? How are these people feeling now? Okay, how are these people feeling now? They are standing together, holding the lamp and feeling joyful again. So the whole paragraph, this small paragraph here, or rather I can just call this as a small, you know s- small sentence, or a small sentence frame. Okay, let me just try to make a square. Okay, yeah. So this square that I just made is basically the simple present, present continuous. As you can see here, it is the strategy that I was talking about, right? It is the strategy that I was talking about. That's pretty important. We are mixing two tenses, that is past plus present. I hope you're able to relate with me. So, the last square that I kind of highlighted here is now they are standing, present continuous, together, holding the lamp, again present continuous, and feeling joyful again. Okay, the whole thing is in present tense, but it is continuous. So, that is what is important. This is again a strategy, guys. Please kind of pause the video here. Very, very important when I'm kind of telling you to pause the video. All right, because we are looking at giving you certain quality sessions, all right, not quantity. Please try and pause the video and practice. Practice is what it's worth, and it is what will help you in the near future. All right, so pause the video here. And again, just for a short revision, I tell you F is for facts, that is what happened. E is for events, S is for sentiments, and T is for today. That is, how do you feel now? Sentiments means how did you feel, or how when you're describing how they felt. Okay. Events, what did they do? Facts, what actually happened in this picture. All right. So the strategy is past plus present using the FEST method. Okay, it's very simple. I just want you to kind of look at this example here that I just read out, and you can form your sentences for this particular picture. Please pause the video and do the needful. Great. Now, let's look at a small activity again. Okay, now this activity actually kind of directly asks you certain questions. That is, how did you feel? All right. How do you feel now when you remember it? Again, pause the video and kind of relate to the whole thing, okay? And try to answer these questions. And I truly tell you that you will understand what I'm kind of looking at from my side of, or from my point of view. Now there are certain sentence starters, okay? That is, I felt, or I was, now I feel. Okay, this is a mini activity, but the whole concept is to use past plus present tense when you're looking at adding emotions as well, and using the FEST method. That is F for facts, E for events, S for sentiments, T for today, in respect to what happened, what did you do, what did you feel, that is sentiments, and how do you feel. Okay, great. Now, let me show you a structured event description. All right, that is nothing but the same thing, that is from past to the present strategy that we just spoke about just a minute ago. That is, to describe a full event clearly, how does this strategy actually work? Okay, follow this simple structure. It can be used to write, or it can be used to kind of when you talk to other people as well. All right, when, that is last Diwali, what did you do? That is what it says, right? Even if you look at fest, that's events, what did you do? So I celebrated with, it can be followed with any sentence that you want. I celebrated with my mom, or I celebrated with my parents, things like that. Okay, then actions, we ate, we visited, we enjoyed. Feelings, what are feelings here, guys? You can look at it. Feelings are nothing but sentiments. How did you feel? All right, so I felt very happy. I felt grateful. things like that. Now today what happened, now I feel. Okay, again please pause the video and try to make your own sentences. All right, so this is a guided speaking session where obviously you kind of, if you want you can just read the whole thing to yourself. However, I'm just going to kind of read the model example for you. Last Diwali I celebrated with my family. Okay, we decorated our house and ate sweets. I met my relatives and felt very happy. Now, when I think about it, I feel grateful. So, again, this is from here to here, it talks about past, and now it is transcending into the present time. So, basically, this is how, we kind of go ahead and speak about our actions that we have done in the past, but by relating it to the present tense, we kind of enhance the way we speak and we ladder up, or there is a system wherein our English goes from a bit of a lower level to a higher level. Because when you kind of look at using past tense and uh, transitioning into present tense, that is what matters, and that is what we were talking about when we looked at this particular section, where past plus present also is in reference to using this particular strategy known as fest. Okay, great. Now, as I told you, I kind of read this whole structured example. You can anytime kind of go back and try to relate with the concept if there is a certain amount of information that you got confused with. So kind of go ahead and do that. Now I want you to participate in a final challenge. Now, what do you think a final challenge is? So, I just want you to kind of again pause the video and speak for 30 to 40 seconds about one festival. Okay, one festival. Also, look at using the fest method. All right, just try to kind of use the fest method. I also told you what it means. Again, I'll be just scrolling up. You can just take a look at it quickly what the fest method actually means. All right, okay, I hope you looked at it. I'm not going to read it out again. Great. Now, so what I want you to do is speak for 30 to 40 seconds, all right, about one festival in your life. It can be any festival, Diwali, Christmas, uh, any festival, Eid, any festival, all right. So the rules are no stopping. Okay, use simple verbs. Any tense is okay really for now. Okay, and feelings are very important. Get those emotions into picture, and if possible use the fest method if you're not comfortable with it. However, try to make the sentences at the beginning. That's what is mandatory. All right. Mistakes are okay, but stopping is not. Kindly go ahead and do that. All right. Practice, practice. Again, I'm reinforcing in every session. I let you know, guys, that practice is what makes you perfect. Kind of go ahead and practice. Speaking in English doesn't come naturally. You really need to practice a lot. Okay. So, so today, what did this session, or what are the session outcomes? What did this session do for us? We kind of used verbs naturally. We know that verbs are pretty much important when we are looking at describing a certain event or a festival or even describing an image. Okay, we used past and present tense without fear. That is, we kind of added both of the tenses and looked at both of the tenses very closely and how we can use them whilst we are actually looking at describing a certain event that has happened or occurred in our lives. All right, that is the third point. That is, we described a real event using these tenses. We also included feelings and emotions. Okay, I spoke about using emotions like felt very happy, I'm truly grateful, it's been a wonderful time together. So things like this. And yes, speaking continuously is pretty much very important, but this point here comes with a lot of practice. Okay, so today you did not memorize grammar, you learned how to describe your life. So remember this forever, guys. English is not about only grammar or grammatical tools or how you go about using grammar. It's about sharing experiences as well. Okay. And for that, FEST or the FEST method is enough. All right. So, just to give you a recap, again, you learned about verbs, you used the past and present tense, and you also learned how to express feelings or emotions and describe a real event. So, before just ending the session, if you're watching this on YouTube, the lesson is a part of our free spoken English series, but this is just the starting point, guys. Okay, at GK Pro Academy, we don't just teach English, we train you to speak step by step with guidance, practice, and feedback. Okay, if these lessons are helping you, I invite you to continue this journey with us. You will find the link to GK Pro Academy in the description. Start with the free course and move forward only when you feel ready. So, thank you so much again for joining in today and have a great day ahead.